Hey, seventh graders, here we are. Fantastic Tuesday. I'm looking out the window down here. It's beautiful and sunny, although cold. It's supposed to be cold. And I have a lawn that needs to be mowed, so we're at the beginning of that season. I can't stand mowing my lawn, so um, I'm not looking forward to the first one, but it's looking pretty long, so I better get out there and mow it. Maybe this afternoon, maybe this evening. We'll see. Um, yeah, so some cool things today. If you haven't heard, today between Sheboygan and Green Bay, the one of the fighter wings from Wisconsin is going to do some flyovers, and it's not just like one plane. I think it's going to be several jets, somewhat of a formation. I don't think it's the Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds, but it'll be some Wisconsin-based aircraft. It'll be very cool, and they're doing this to celebrate and acknowledge all frontline workers, um, folks like my wife, I guess you could say, who's in the hospital, or at the hospital right now doing her job, helping diagnose patients with whatever they have going on inside of them, and essential workers. So those folks who have to go to work and can't do it like I do from the safety of my own home. So people who are going to their foundry jobs, their factory jobs, their people working at the grocery stores, the ones who are still going to the restaurants and making food for takeout, people, continuing to work at the gas stations, truck drivers. We got to thank truck drivers too, who are out there moving things around. If they didn't move things around, our supplies, we just wouldn't have it. They're preventing a lot of grief. So anyway, it's between, if you're outside at about 10 to 6 to about 6:30, if you just set that time frame, you should be able to see the flyover, because it should go from Sheboygan up towards Manitowoc and then head towards Green Bay. So we're going to be outside hoping for that too. So kind of cool today. Just saluting. I almost feel like anybody and everybody, because if you're tolerating and you're doing well and you're staying strong and you're being kind and compassionate and you're thinking about others, then that you can consider that salute to you. Okay, so today in science, not super complicated at all. Let me switch back. I'll get you on your daily slideshow. You don't have a bunch of things to look at. You got a video to look at. That is Mr. Masters, or no, I'm sorry. I think it's Miss Gleason's video today. I'll post that as well. For me, you got this video you're watching. Check. And then you got a document you're going to look at that you order the energy transfers from the last transfer back to the beginning. Woo! Too much talking. And not the beginning of where the energy is, but back to where the first energy transfer would have been. You'll label each type with the type of energy you think it is. Now, listen to my words. This is not super vital. I'm not going to assess you on that. I just want to have you taking an extra step if you feel like it. Those would be the red ones, and I'll show you in a minute. Make sure you turn it in. Your last thing is to contact your friends on social media and ask them if they are getting their work done or if they've checked in lately. Okay, let's take a look at this document that I did for you here. Let me go to view full screen, which really doesn't do much different, doesn't it? All right, your job is to trace the energy back from the ball flying through the air. So that's this one. Here's the ball flying through the air. That's the second square. You're going to show where you think the energy was transferred from picture to picture. And you'll do this using numbers 1 through 8. Number 1 being the very start of the energy transfer, and number 8 being the last transfer shown among the pictures. So I've labeled the last transfer shown, and the rest are up to you. So here's an example of how your work should go. Order of transfer, this would be number 8. This would be the last. There are 8 pictures. So you're following the breadcrumbs back. The last transfer shown in these pictures. This is kinetic energy as the ball flies through the air. So your job is to look at and say, okay, so this is the ball flying through the air, the kinetic energy. Where did the energy from the ball come from? This is just, kind of like yesterday where you're being sort of like a toddler going, but where? So if I look through the pictures, I have to think about where the energy from the ball came from. what would be the next one back, and then I would label it with the number 7. And then I would look at that picture and say, okay, where did the energy come from before that? Where was it transferred from? And I'd label that picture with a number 6. And then I'd say, where did the energy come from before that? And label that picture with a number 5 until you get all the way back to number 1. And then I would do that first. And then I would go back and enter in anything I think of, like the type of energy, And I gave you examples on the slideshow. Right here, you got potential, kinetic, chemical, mechanical, and radiation. What I'll do, I'll add those up here too. I'll put them on the top for you. That's your job today. Do that. Trace the breadcrumbs back from 8 to 1. 8 being the one I labeled here as the last energy transfer. And go back and use some of those vocabulary words, potential, kinetic, chemical, mechanical, radiation. Go back and use those words and put in what type of energy do you think is being transferred here? Because it's not always, the same to the same. Hit turn in and call yourself done. Now, we have been working on this target of develop and use a model to explain a scientific idea. Well, after some great conversations with Mr. Kellner yesterday, this is your model. I really I was going to have you draw another one out, but in all honesty, you can develop or use a model, and this is your model. So if you can put these in order from the last energy transfer that I've shown you here back to where the first transfer came from, you could certainly redraw that on a piece of paper, but you don't have to. You just need to do this document. All right, my friends, I hope you have a fantastic day today. Email me with any questions. I literally get no emails with questions, so y'all must be doing an amazing job. Email me with questions. Also, again, interested in 3D printing and learning how to do that. I put together a little quick video that I can email you, and you're welcome to do that. And then I will print them here and deliver them. I printed the first one yesterday, and that will go out for delivery today. Matter of fact, if they're small enough and you don't want a delivery, I can mail them to you. So anyway, things to think about. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Think about the 3D printing if you want to do it. Get your work done. Turn it in. Contact your friends on social media and say, hey, are you getting your stuff done and how you doing? And are you checking in with your teachers? Gold House ticket winners, you should watch for emails later this morning for a time when your treats will be delivered. And then remember, between about 5:50 and 6:30, go outside, look at the sky, watch for the jets. They're there to salute everybody who's managing to do really well through all of this. Take care, guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow.